us to acknowledge her contributions, not only to her family, but to this community and the St. John's Church. I mean, she 103, and she's been a member of that church for over 60 years. And for those of us who are Native Houstonians and others, we know that church, and so really appreciate that. And I know we have the daughter of Joe Haley with us, and so we want to just acknowledge and appreciate Miss Ruth King, and we'll turn it over to you for any comments that you may have.
Well, thank you so much for honoring my Aunt Ruth. I really appreciate the time y'all took out today to honor her. She definitely was a pillar of her community. So thank you so much. In honor of her, I'm thanking you. She would greatly appreciate this if she was here.
Well, thank you, and Council Member, I'll give you the final words for today.
And thank you for being here, Miss Haley. And again, my condolences to you and your family. I wish Ms. King was here to get the proclamation or her birthday proclamation, but I know she knew that everyone loved her and appreciated her, and we will continue to honor her by making sure Cashmere Garden, because I know she was part of the Cashmere Garden Senior Club over there, and so I will continue to work closely with the community over there just to, fulfill her promises, her dreams. So thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and have a good day, okay?
You too.
Okay. The chair now recognizes Councilman Robinson for a proclamation to Convoy of Hope in recognition for organizing food and water distributions post Winter Storm Uri. Councilman Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor. It is an honor to be here today with the folks representing the Convoy of Hope and following Councilmember Jackson's important proclamation, and the next one with Councilmember Kamen introducing folks as well. It feels appropriate. In this case, Convoy of Hope is a great organization, not originally from Houston, but one that has really impacted our city greatly. And I'd like to read excerpt from the proclamation that is before me today. And Mayor, if you will, it says, whereas Convoy of Hope is a faith-based nonprofit organization founded in 1994 by the Donaldson family, drawing inspiration from the many people who helped their family after their father, Harold, was killed by a drunk driver in 1969, while the children were very young. With a driving passion to feed the world through children's feeding initiatives, community outreach, and disaster response, Convoy of Hope has served more than 163 million people throughout the world to date. And whereas Convoy of Hope's disaster services team is consistently among the first to respond to disasters, highly regarded for its scalable response and distribution model, the team utilizes its 8 international warehouses, 4 U.S. warehouses, a specialized disaster response fleet, and highly trained team of staff and volunteers to respond to disasters quickly and effectively. And whereas in 1998, Convoy of Hope responded to its first disaster, flooding in Del Rio, Texas, after Tropical Storm Charley. And since then, it's responded to more than 488 disasters in the United States and throughout the world. Following the devastation wrought by Winter Storm Uri, Convoy of Hope joined community leaders and other organizations across Houston for a series of distribution events. And Mayor, close to our heart, and you and I experienced firsthand, Convoy of Hope provided essential food and water for the most vulnerable Houstonians, establishing sites across our city at Elevate Church Houston, Lindale Church, and Fawnville Middle School in District H, Hope City Church in District A, Lakewood Church in District C, Grace Church Houston in District E, and Magnolia Park Multi-Service Center in District I. And then, whereas on June 1st, 2021, Convoy of Hope will be recognized for its tireless work through churches, businesses, government agencies, and other nonprofits to provide help and hope to those who are impoverished, hungry, and in dire need of help. The City of Houston commends and appreciates Convoy of Hope and extends best wishes for continued success.
Thank you, Councilmember. And so therefore I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of City of Houston, hereby proudly proclaim June 1st, 2021 as Convoy of Hope Day in the City of Houston.
Thank you, Mayor.
Let me thank you, council member, for bringing Convoy of Hope before us. 163 people, 63 million people having been served through 488 disaster speaks for itself. And,
Mayor, I think with us today, two representatives from Convoy of Hope, Stacy Lamb and Ethan Forrence, are here, and they might accept on behalf of the Convoy of Hope organization.
Certainly. So let me recognize both of these persons, Stacy Lamb or Ethan Fort. Pronounce the last name.
Forrets is how I see it.
Yeah, forehead. That's right.
Easy.
So which one wants to go first? Stacy.
Stacy, go ahead.
I'll go ahead. So, Mayor Turner, Alderman Robinson, just appreciate that. Yeah, I may have just elevated you there.
I think I just got a promo, Mayor.
So, just want to say thank you to the City of Houston on behalf of Convoy of Hope, and we were honored to work alongside the city and all the residents there to be able to serve those through Winter Storm Uri. And so, just want to say again, thank you on behalf of our organization for this great honor, and we just appreciate being able to work alongside you all and be able to serve those there in Houston.
Thank you so very much. And Ethan?
We're just so grateful. We love the people of Texas, and anytime there's an opportunity for us to be part of the solution in Texas, whatever that means. And the winter storm was a big one. That was a new one for you guys. We are happy to be part of that. We are so proud of all the partners and all the churches that you mentioned there that we get to partner with. And the volunteers really make it happen. So it's the great people of Texas that allowed us to come in and help you in a time of need. And just thank you for this proclamation.
Thank you. And thank you both for representing Convoy of Hope. And let me just tell you, you all are just invaluable. The volunteers are incredible. You know, we deal with a lot of storms and disasters during, let's say, between April and October. We're not necessarily accustomed to dealing with extreme weather events in the month of February. So, and Winter Storm Uri was a big one for us. So, I really want, on behalf of the entire city, want to appreciate what you all do and what you all have consistently done over many, many years. So, on behalf of the entire city of Houston, let me say thank you. Councilmember Robinson, let me thank you for bringing Convoy of Hope to us. And I don't think there's anyone in the queue at this time. So, Councilmember Robinson, I'm going to turn it over to you to give you the final words.
Well, I just want to thank Stacy and Ethan for being here. Ethan, that screen over your left shoulder there is a pretty good one with the weather forecast. I appreciate that. But
we'll always watch it.
Really, Mayor, I really appreciate the breadth and width of their touch. As said, District A, District C, District E, District H, all over the city. Thank you guys so much. And hopefully, Mayor, no more disasters for a while here.
Well, I'm hoping we won't have any extreme weather events over the summer and even beyond. But if by chance it should happen, again, let me just say, Convoy, I hope y'all have been there each and every time, so very much appreciate it. Okay, so again, congratulations and well earned.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you all. All right, and the chair now recognizes Councilman McCamon for a proclamation to Space City Weather for their dedication and work to keep Houston safe and informed. Councilman McCamon.
Thank you, Mayor. And I'm going to blame Matt and Eric if we do have extreme weather this hurricane season. But Mayor, in honor of or in recognition of hurricane season, I thought it was only fitting that we honor some of our hometown heroes that continue to get us through each storm. So I'm very honored and thrilled to introduce Eric Berger and Matt Lanza of Space City Weather. They don't need any introduction. They're celebrities in their own right. In fact, staff around the floor of council was in shock. Everyone was whispering when Eric came in person to pick up the proclamation. Everyone was very, very excited, Eric, that they got to see you in person. Y'all don't just make weather reporting cool with thousands and thousands of followers, but there are millions who rely on you for grounded, fact-based information when we need it most. In announcing the proclamation this morning, I think on y'all's Facebook page, you got over 10.9 thousand likes on Facebook, and just scrolling through the comments, it was comment after comment of thank you for all that you do. We love you. And I hope you both get the difference that y'all make in the lives of Houstonians. Space City Weather has become one of the most reliable sources of weather and storm information in our region. Eric is the founder, editor, and also meteorologist who has been writing about Bayou City weather for over a decade. He has an astronomy degree from UT and a master's in journalism from the University of Missouri, and was also a Pulitzer Prize finalist for covering Hurricane Ike. Matt is the managing editor and meteorologist who has in the energy sector, who has previously worked as a broadcast meteorologist in New York. And additionally, he forecasts the daily weather and temperatures for Cheniere Energy Inc. Matt, as an aside, I think you are one of the most read individuals I have ever met on Hurricane Katrina that I know. Matt and I go back and forth about books on Hurricane Katrina, and I always appreciate your dialogue. Space City Weather has created online platforms of weather and storm guidance, including the Space City Weather Flood Scale that makes sense of all the warnings and alerts that we get. And as of last week, they introduced their mobile app, which has reached number 2 within the top weather apps in a matter of hours. So congratulations. And as we begin the hurricane season for this year, I urge everyone in Houston to download their app, prepare and stay informed. Eric and Matt, thank you for protecting millions of Houstonians every day. Again, I hope you know how much you mean to Houston, and I'm so thrilled to present this recognition with the mayor for you and all that you've done in setting the bar on reliable reporting without the drama, just the facts. But thank you for your service. So I'll go ahead and read the proclamation. Founded by Eric Berger in 2015, Space City Weather has provided Houston residents and business owners with quality weather forecasts to aid them in making informed decisions about protecting their families, property, and business. As a meteorologist and former contributor to the Chronicle for 17 years, where he was a Pulitzer Prize finalist for his coverage on Hurricane Ike, Eric Berger, alongside his managing editor, Matt Lanza, have utilized Space City Weather to keep Houston informed during some of the city's most turbulent times. During the wake of Harvey, their website traffic tripled, accumulating over 4 million site visits as they posted during the storm. Space City Weather reintegrated the site's flood scale during Hurricane Storm Imelda, which sets a realistic expectation ahead of a rainfall event that could produce unprecedented flooding. On June 8, 2021, Space City Weather will be recognized for its overall contributions to the community. The City of Houston commends and appreciates Space City Weather for its worthwhile endeavors over the years and extends best wishes for future success.
And thank you, Councilmember. So therefore, I, Sylvester Turner, Mayor of the City of Houston, hereby proudly proclaim June 8, 2021 as Space City Weather Day in the City of Houston. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Certainly want to acknowledge, number one, Councilmember, thank you for bringing this particular group before us today, and Matt and Eric. Let me thank you both. I'm disappointed I wasn't able to be over there when y'all came to pick up the proclamation so I could take pictures myself, you know. So I've had Marta take pictures of the screen. So we got you. we got pictures of you on the screen here today. But look, thank you all for what you all consistently do. And for places like the City of Houston, the weather reports are just invaluable, you know, especially when we tell people to be weather aware and weather alert. So I really want to appreciate you all for what you all have done. And quite frankly, through your information, the lives that have been saved. So I very much appreciate that. So let me yield to Eric, Matt, whoever wants to go first.
Go ahead, Matt.
Yeah, so I just want to thank you, Mayor Turner. Thank you, Councilmember Kamen, for your support and for the nomination, and really, admittedly, this really cool honor. And thanks to the entire City Council. We've been able to have a very good relationship with our local officials to help get the word out. And it just really validates, I feel like, what we do every day, because we really do strive to help Houstonians get through our worst days, our most anxiety-inducing days, with good information, really above all empathy and understanding. We get it. We live here. We know what it's like. And, you know, despite not being originally from Houston, I think we both have been just so warmly embraced by the people here, and there's no better place to call home. It's a privilege to serve this community, and hopefully we can get through another hurricane season without too much trouble. But if it does come up, you know, we'll be there for everyone before, during, and after. So thank you really.
David, hey, it's Elizabeth Clanton over.
Okay, thanks, Matt. And Eric.
I would just like to echo Matt's thanks, Mayor Turner and Councilmember Kamen and the entire council. Like Matt said, you know, we couldn't do this without our partners in government at the National Weather Service, the county and local and state, levels. We try to work with everyone to sort of get their messages out. But, you know, to really help people through the most difficult days that they have, and the weather really affects everyone. And we just, we do our best to help Houston through its difficult times. And we're really just a couple of, our kids would agree with it. Certainly mine would. There were a couple of boring nerds with keyboards. But that appears to be, what we have to give back. And so, we're very much glad to do so. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you. And I'm glad that you all are boring nerds. Yeah. I think I'm going to use that on some other people too, but we very much appreciate what you do and how you do it. So let me yield now to Councilmember Alcorn. Councilmember Alcorn. Oh, I'm sorry. Councilmember Peck, followed by Councilmember Alcorn. Councilmember Peck.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Kamen, for bringing this forward. Matt and Eric, I just want to say thank you so much for everything that you do. I rely on your information every single day. And Matt, thank you again for speaking at the District A Hurricane Preparedness Town Hall. You gave really crucial information that I think helped a lot of people to know what to look out for this hurricane season. And I had several people beforehand who told me they just wanted to come just to see you. So, so thank you so much for being there. I appreciate everything that you both do. Thanks.
Thank you so much.
Thanks. Councilmember Alcorn.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Councilmember Kamen, for bringing this forward. I've been excited about it all day. I've been following all the social media around this. It's just unbelievable. The key to the city, one of you said, I think that was your goal. So this is basically it. And it's fitting, Mayor, that our celebrities have something to do with weather, because this town is always looking at the weather. We don't have movie stars, but we've got a lot of attention around weather. So my husband, George, fancies himself a Space City weather guy. He checks you all the time. He's a meteorologist wannabe, but really appreciate all you do. And I also really appreciate the name you chose for this, because after yesterday, Mayor, being out there with Collins Aerospace, I mean, we are Space City and we're bringing back lots of space. So appreciate your nod to space, and just thanks for everything you do and keeping Houstonians safe and aware of what's going on. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And Councilmember Kamen, I'll give you the final comments. I don't think I got anybody else in the queue. So Councilmember Kamen.
Thank you, Mayor. And again, to Matt and Eric, thank y'all for all that you do. Eric, you said it, I wasn't going to say it, but the nerding out is for everyone. And you've given nerds a home, right, where we can all follow along. And I just appreciate, again, the fact-based guidance that you give, and not just during hurricane season, but even through the winter storm, and also not being afraid to call out when something is over dramatized, and really looking out for Houstonians. So thank you for all that you do. We're here for you. I know you're here for us. Thank you.
Thank you. Matt, Eric, any closing comments from you all?
Thank you so much. It's really, truly an honor. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you all. And this is our way of just acknowledging and appreciating what you do on a regular and ongoing basis. So all the best, and hopefully this summer will be good.
Hopefully.
All right, take care. Thank you all very much. Appreciate you. Let me thank all of the council members for presenting 3 outstanding proclamations today, which is making this a good day. And so now the chair now recognizes Councilmember Pollard for the invocation and the pledge.
Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon to everyone. May we please bow our heads for a word of prayer. Lord, we come to you today to say thank you. Thank you for allowing us to gather as we collectively work for the good of the people of Houston. Lord, I pray that you give us the understanding to address the issues that come before us. And Lord, as we govern, humble us to ensure that we do not pursue our will, but thy will be done. We glorify and magnify you and give you all the praise with respect to all faiths and religions. But in Jesus' name, I pray, amen.
Amen. Madam Secretary, you proceed to call the roll.
No pledge.
I'm sorry. Please rise for the pledge. I'm sorry.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic
which
for which it stands, one nation, under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, if you'll call the roll.
Okay, I mean, okay. Mayor Turner,
I'm here.
Councilmember Pegg,
Here.
Councilmember Jackson,
Here.
Councilmember Kamen,
Here.
Councilmember Evans Shabazz,
Here.
Councilmember Martin,
Present.
Councilmember Thomas,
Present.
Councilmember Travis,
Present online.
Councilmember Cisneros,
Here.
Gallegos,
Here.
Councilmember Pollard, Councilmember Castex Tatum,
Pollard is here.
Councilmember Knox,
Here.
Councilmember Robinson,
Here?
Councilmember Kubash, Councilmember Plummer, and Councilmember Alcorn.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Secretary. Yes.
Plummer is present. I'm sorry, I couldn't unmute my computer.
Thomas
And Plummer.
and Plummer. So Kubash is the only one absent.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, ma'am.
We need a motion to adopt the minutes of May 25th and 26th.
Castex Tatum, move.
Second, Robinson?
Move second. All those in favor? Opposed? Granted. Now, for council members and for visitors, we will review the procedures for conducting this virtual public session. For council members, please remember to speak slowly and clearly. If you have to leave the meeting, please type that into the chat window and then hang up. This will remove you from the meeting and will give us a record of exactly when you left. Please state your name when making a motion, seconding, or tagging. Please type "speak" into the chat window if you'd like to be recognized to speak. The agenda director will be monitoring the chat and will give me your name. So please do not use the chat window for anything else. Please remember to keep yourself on mute unless you are speaking. For those public speakers, welcome, and let me remind you that in order to be recognized as a public speaker, you had to sign up with the city secretary's office by 5 p.m. yesterday, Monday. We will call your name in the order that you signed up. When your name is called, please press *6 to unmute yourself. Again, *6 will unmute yourself. Please remute yourself after your time comments are heard. You will then have 1, 2, or 3 minutes to speak, and then a bell will ring. I think I know the top of my head, but I do not. You may only speak when recognized. You may only
council member. We have a staff member for a council member, or a staff person for a council member. And so the first question that was asked is, can a staff member,
Mike Knox,
engage in any kind of fundraising or campaign activity?
That's not me. I don't know who that is.
You're not muted.
It's Mike. Mike Knox. No, it was not Knox. Our apologies.
Taking care of it.
Okay. So again, when your name is called, please press *6 to unmute yourself. Please remute yourself after your time comments are heard. You will then have 1, 2, or 3 minutes to speak, and then the bell will ring. You may only speak when recognized. Please note that if you speak during the meeting and I have not recognized you, we will mute you. And if you speak again, we will remove you from the meeting. Before we start, are there any procedural motions?
Yes, Councilmember Thompson.
Councilmember Tiffany D. Thomas for a motion.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I would like to move Doug Smith from the bottom 1 minute to the top of the 1 minute.
Second, Robinson.
Top of the 1 minute agenda or non-agenda?
Non-agenda or the agenda?
No, move them to the bottom of the 1 minute non-agenda.
Bottom 1 minute non-agenda. We have a second by Councilmember Robinson. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion granted. So Doug Smith is now moved to the bottom of the 1 minute non-agenda list. Any other procedural motions?
Did we take a vote on that?
Unanimous. For council members, we will now, Madam Secretary, please call the first speaker.
First speaker, Steve Boyd.
Steve Boyd, if you're first.
Hi,
Yes, go ahead on, Steve.
thank you all. Thank you, Mayor. And so this issue before the City Council has to do with renaming San Felipe Park on San Felipe to Martin Dubrovner Park. Again, my name is Stephen Boyd, and I'm the General Manager of the Tanglewood Homes Association. I also manage the Tanglewood Foundation, who is the supporting, sponsoring civic organization for renaming application. Some of you may be aware, if you have this information in front of you, Martin worked at Weingarten Realty for many years. I began to work at Weingarten Realty in 1987 and first interviewed with Martin, who was very, very kind and very easy to talk to. I worked with Martin directly in due diligence of shopping center projects over the years. And you're probably aware that Weingarten Realty owns 2 shopping centers on Post Oak Boulevard. And so for many years, which accounted for Martin's involvement in the Uptown Tours and his tireless work on many improvements in the area. I now currently, as I came to work at Tanglewood Homes Association, Martin was on the board here. He was also on the foundation board at the time. And he was very involved in the Tanglewood area, the Gallery area, and community projects. When he was on the board with Tanglewood Homes Association, improvements on the Tanglewood Boulevard, which is enjoyed by many people in the community on a daily basis. I cannot think of a more fitting honor and deserving person like Martin Dubrovner to name this park Martin Dubrovner Park. As you'll hear also probably some from future speakers, all his involvement in the Gallery area, and I just think it's very fitting. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Councilman Alcorn.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Stephen, for coming today and for all the good work you do for the Tanglewood Association. I did read up on Mr. Dubrovner, and he was quite accomplished and did a lot for the area. So happy to support that item tomorrow. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Steve. Next speaker.
Beth Allenberger.
Beth Allenberger. If you press *6, you can proceed. Beth. Beth, if you press *6. Beth?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh, I think I just muted her.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Hi, thank you. On behalf of my family and myself, thank you, Mayor Turner and members of City Council, for the honor of allowing me to tell you what the idea of changing the name of the park, San Felipe Park, to Martin Dubrovner Park means to us. I am Beth Ollenberger, Martin Dubrovner's oldest of 3 children, and I'm sitting with my mom, Linda, his wife of 51 years. We are thrilled by this proposal. And even though he was a humble man, I know he is smiling down on us right now. We lost my dad a little over 4 years ago to a terminal liver disease, primary sclerosing cholangitis. It was a giant loss for us, and not a day goes by that I don't miss him. He was a devoted husband, father, brother, grandfather, and friend. My dad, Martin, lived in the area of the park for almost 50 years. He is not originally from Houston, but he loved the city. He came to Houston from New York to work for NASA, where he conducted research and trained the Gemini flight crews in the integration of their equipment for extravehicular activity. In 1968, he went to work for Weingarten Realty, a commercial real estate company, as Stephen Boyd said earlier. He worked there for 40 years until his retirement. I have the blessing of having worked with him at Weingarten for 8 years, which gave me firsthand knowledge of his compassion for his work, loyalty to his fellow colleagues, and how smart of a man he really was. He served on many boards, but two that were very special to him were the Tanglewood Home Association Board and Uptown Houston. His real job and volunteer work both gave him the opportunity to bring his visions to improve the city in which he worked and lived to reality. I could go on and on about his professional accomplishments, but the one thing I know a lot about and believe is one of the most important character traits in a person is that he was the best dad ever. He worked hard, but always had time for his family. I assure you that if you vote to change the park name to Martin Dubrowner Park, it will bring smiles and special memories to many people because it represents an incredible man that was instrumental.
Hold on,
Okay.
I'll let you finish. Go on.
Oh, thank you. That was instrumental in improving our city, as well as a man that was loved by many. Thank you. I appreciate your time today, and thank you for the couple extra seconds.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so very, very much. And look, it's an honor for us to have this item on the agenda tomorrow, and I think we're all excited about acknowledging and recognizing the contribution of your dad. And
Oh, great. Thank you.
please tell your mom that right there, at least say hello. And then married for what? Did I hear you say 51 years?
51 years.
You let her know that it's an honor for us to have this item on the agenda tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Turner. Really appreciate your work. Kind words.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Next speaker.
John Breeding.
John Breeding. John, if you'll press *6. John, *6. John Breeding. Okay. All right. And next.
Appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today. My name's John Breeding, and I have the pleasure of two things. Former City of Houston Councilmember Pam Home asked me to read a letter of support for naming Martin Dubrowner Park. And she had a short thing to say, I'm writing you today, supporting the naming of the Martin Dubrowner Park. One of the things that she cherished most of my time on City Council is the opportunity to have known and learned from strong, devoted citizens who cared so much for our city. Martin Dubrowner was such a man. He was a dedicated hard worker who led by example, invested his time to assure outcomes that had long-lasting positive impacts on the lives of others. Named the park after Marty not only recognizes his outstanding leadership, but as a continual reminder of the great outcomes achieved through selfless giving and service as part of an integral part of a dynamic community. Thank you for the opportunity to write to you and to each of you. My best wishes filled with gratitude for your commitment and service to Houston. Sincerely, Pam Home. Mayor Turner, if I may express a little bit of the perspective of our boards of directors. I serve on behalf of the boards of directors, the Uptown Management District and the Uptown Development Authority. And we encourage you to rename the park on San Felipe the Martin Dubrowner Park. This tiny park, only 35 feet wide and just over 100 feet long, tucked into the southwest corner of San Felipe and Post Oak Lane, is a fitting honor for Mr. Dubrowner. Martin never sought attention, much like this little park. Martin was more interested in doing good for the community, in doing the right thing, than he was in gaining public recognition. Martin worked to help make things happen and worried little about who received the credit. Mr. Dubrowner served the Uptown Houston Management District Board of Directors for 23 years. In 1999, he was selected to chair the TERS 16 and the Uptown Development Authority Boards of Directors and served there until his death in 2017. Martin Dubrowner gave of himself. He selflessly worked to improve our community And above all, Martin was a man of integrity. Martin taught me that one's words and honesty were lasting and of priceless value. As chairman, Mr. Brobner had a way of drawing out the viewpoints of various board members while leading the group towards a thoughtful consensus. I can go no further without expressing what Mr. Brobner meant to me personally and what he taught me personally. In the most difficult times of my life, Martin was there. He cared about people, and it was his practice to connect with you, not just to say have a good day, but to connect and understand what you were going through and to offer meaningful help. And as a final thought, I want to share with you an enduring trait, Mr. Brobner. Martin was very considerate of other people's time. Martin always, let me emphasize, always arrived on time.
Your time has expired.
Early, usually 15 minutes. In Mr. Brobner's world, early was on time was late, and late was unacceptable. It's now our time to honor this good man by naming the Martin Brobner Park. Thank you.
Thank you, John, and you expressed the sentiment of the reason why this time tomorrow.
You want me to email them?
Thank you so very, very much, John.
No, Rosa Alvarado.
Okay.
Rosa Alvarado.
If you will, 1 second, if you will mute your phones, if you're not speaking, if you mute, please. All right, thanks, John.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Madam Secretary.
Rosa Alvarado.
Rosa Alvarado. You press star 6 to proceed. Rosa Alvarado. Rosa Alvarado, star 6. Rosa Alvarado. Next speaker.
Misael Marquez.
Misael Marquez.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. You can proceed.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you. Misael Marquez.
Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry. I'm Misael Marquez here. With the support of the mayor and council, we've made incredible progress towards making airport jobs good jobs where people have job security and can provide for their families. We won a living wage for many, and concession workers won worker retention in 2014 and 2018. But all of our progress is threatened if nothing is done to address the crisis in airline catering. Today, we release a report about the urgent crisis impacting 800 catering workers. Without action by the council, job loss for these workers will have compounding disproportionate impacts on poor neighborhoods of colors in Houston. We're asking the city to expand work retention rights to airline catering workers. We're having an airport worker summit tomorrow, and we'll love if the members of the council were able to attend and hear the direct experience of the workers. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. Next speaker.
Houston Daniel.
Houston Daniel. You press star 6. Houston Daniel. Star 6.
Y'all be able to hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon. My name is Houston Lee Daniels Marks, and I have worked at the Airport United Airline Kitchen at George Bush Intercontinental Airport for 4 years. On January 2021, the airport informed us that we were looking to contract out our entire in-flight catering department. United Airlines has made no promises or guarantees that we will keep our jobs or our benefits during this transaction. This decision will impact 800 Houston airport workers and their families. We have worked hard and done everything we were told to do, and many of us, including myself, have worked through the pandemic. Right now, we are uncertain of our futures with the company and left wondering how we can provide for our families if we lose our jobs. Both my roommate and I work at United Catering Ops, and we were both worried about what would happen to us, how we'll be able to pay rent if we both lose our jobs. Everything is at stake. We understand the companies frequently outsource departments and switch contractors, but it is not okay that workers that are in danger of losing their jobs. I'm coming. Okay.
Yes, let me just say to you, I'm certainly aware of what's taking place out there. United is putting out, or at least is planning to put out an RFP, but we're also working to make sure that people will not be losing their jobs, or at least that whoever gets it can utilize the same employees that are there. We're working on that, and that the same agreements that United has made in terms of the pay, that those agreements will carry forth with respect to whichever company wins out on the RFP. So I'm fully aware of the issue, and we're working to make sure that employees, current employees, are not going to be, let's say, displaced by the incoming vendor, whoever that may be. Okay, so I'm very sensitive to that, and we're talking to United as we speak. Councilmember Kamen.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you for that update. Houston, I just wanted to let you know I appreciated, I did get the report that y'all did circulate in looking at some of those numbers. I thought that was really helpful. So I, again, appreciate you coming today. I know that many of y'all have worked in our airports for years and years, as you mentioned, including through the pandemic. So appreciate you, and thanks to Unite Here for tireless advocacy on behalf of workers, and always keeping my office informed, because it's extremely helpful, and we appreciate you.
Thank you. Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Mr. Daniel, for sharing. I got the report. Thank you for coming to speak. Mayor, and thank you. I know that you're having conversations with United. One of the questions that Unite Here is asking about a workers' retention policy, is that also being considered?
It's about just trying to make sure that the employees who are currently working, for example, with United, will be given the first right with respect to any other vendor that comes in, to the extent they decide to go that route. They're talking about RFP, but it's not 100% that they're going to go that route. But to the extent that they do, we want to make sure that who's ever working with them now will be carried to the next vendor, so you don't have a lot of displacement, and that the same benefits that that United is offering, or has agreed with the city to offer in terms of the minimum wage and all those type of things. So those things will carry forth to the next vendor as well.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. All right.
Mr. Mayor, if I have one more moment, please.
You gotta have a question.
Well, not necessarily a question, more of a statement to help out for future endeavors with this one. We are holding a summit tomorrow at 5 o'clock via Zoom. If you would like a invite for it, please email us, and we will send you an invite for it.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
No problem, sir.
Okay. Madam Secretary, next speaker.
Doug Smith.
Doug Smith. If you press star.
Hello?
No, Doug Smith.
Hello?
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 Yes. Are you you're not Doug Smith, right? Hold on one second. Doug Smith. If you press star 6. Doug Smith.
That's gross.
Doug Smith, star 6.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good afternoon. In response to a budget question I raised regarding, I was told it had not been approved by the administration. I learned that that is not correct, because the procurement department and finance, which is part of the administration, approved it, and that IT, also part of the administration, approved it. I would like to ask the mayor, do you agree with me that providing increased transparency in city finances, which this program will do, is a positive step? If you do, since the project is fully funded and over 50% complete, Could you reinstate it so hopefully it can go live by the start of the new fiscal year? Thank you.
Thanks, Doug. Okay. Next speaker,
Rose Schuman.
Rose Schuman. If you press *6, you can proceed. Rose Schuman. Rose Schuman, *6. Rose Schuman. Next speaker,
Johnny Taylor.
Johnny Taylor. You press *6, you can proceed. Johnny Taylor, *6. Johnny Taylor.
Johnny Taylor is here. How you doing this afternoon? Mayor Turner and the council?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, good. Okay, well, Mayor Turner and council, first of all, I'd just like to say good afternoon. And I'm here to talk with you, Mayor Turner. I actually have 3 questions for you, and I'm hoping that you can provide answers for them. And I am needing your help still because I want to say congratulations, too, on the new spaceport, which is a part of the future. And I think that's going to be very positive for Houston. But I am trying to talk with you about something more dealing with the present and some of the past, which is Hurricane Harvey. And currently, Mayor Turner, as you know, there's a large population here in Houston who are still in a holding pattern as it relates to the reconstruction of their homes, one.
Hold on a second, please mute your phones, okay? All right, sorry about that. You can continue.
Okay. Let me restate that. There is a large population of people here in Houston currently still dealing with the reconstruction component of their homes, one, and then the reimbursement for dollars that they have spent, two. And my mother and myself have been in this pattern for about 33 consecutive months. And we were originally in the single application on the homeowner managed side. And as of March, we've been forced into the city side of the equation. And now we've been told that we will not be receiving the reimbursement money, which is a total of about $49,000 that has been spent in the program for the homeowner managed portion of Hurricane Harvey. So here's my first question, Mayor Turner. And what is your intent on the reimbursement, noting that it's about 50% of the applicants who are awaiting reimbursement for dollars that they spent based on a program that was created by the city, marketed by the city, and then owned and operated by the city. So what is your intent on this 50% of the population where 70% of these citizens are in fact senior citizens, such as my mother, who's 77 years old? So that's my first question. What's your intent on the reimbursement component of these dollars that's been spent on trying to get their homes reconstructed?
Okay, why don't you assess all 3? Because I'm going to certainly refer you to the Housing and Community Development Department. Whatever the reimbursements were allowed by GLO, we will follow through on. So that program.
Well, Mayor Turner, I mean, I think you know what the outcome is there. So I'm not looking to be handed off to a dead end. I'm trying to get to the top end of the authority here in the city of Houston, which is the mayor, because all follows that decision, if that makes sense. And I'm trying to get to the root cause analysis of the solution, if that makes sense as well. So I'd appreciate it if you can just tell me what your intent is, because that will allow us to know what we need to do as we move forward, if that makes sense.
You've got your time is running, so I'm going to ask you to take full advantage
Well,
of it.
I have a standing question, Mayor Turner. That question again is, what is your intent on the reimbursement for the 70% of citizens who's waiting on the reimbursement for money spent from the city of
Your
Houston?
time has expired.
Okay. Again, let me refer you to the Housing and Community Department, okay? Thank
So
you.
you're not going to answer the question, Mayor Turner, you're not going to answer the question.
If you answer, you and I have talked about 4 times, so I don't think.
But you've never answered the question. That's why I'm still asking the question, Mayor Turner.
Then you can pick it up again next time, okay? Thank you very much. Next speaker.
Steve Williams.
Steve Williams, *6. Steve Williams, *6. Steve Williams. Steve Williams, *6.
Hello.
Steve, is this Steve Williams? Okay, next speaker.
Mary Fontenot.
Mary Fontenelle, *6. Mary,
Oh,
is this Mary Fontenelle?
can you hear me?
Is this Mary Fontenelle?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Perfect. Thank you. Good afternoon, Honorable Mayor Turner and Council. On behalf of the Pleasantville community and leadership, I am here to ask your overwhelming support with establishing the Pleasantville community as a historic district with the City of Houston. We desperately need your help with stopping the Texas GLO from coming into our community and destroying the property values, history, and heritage of one of America's first of only 3 master plan communities in the nation that was built for middle-income Black Americans ever. A community which is nestled here in Houston. These ranched-out homes were built after World War II. Mayor and Council, we are also asking your help with the city's HOAP program, which we understand is directly connected with the Texas GLO, and the unjust threats of lawsuits against Mrs. Johnson, a 93-year-old resident whose husband served honorably in World War II. As you know, architecture has been called the art of building beautifully, a fixation of man's thinking and record of his activity. Keep in mind that last phrase. This is important. Historic preservation clearly does much more than preserve bricks and mortar. It recognizes that our built history connects us in intangible ways with our past and provides context for the places we occupy and the world we live in. It fuses art with craftsmanship, capacity for modern utility with embodied energy and progressive ideas for economic revitalization with traditional authenticity. Historic preservation is at the same time wonderfully egalitarian. All socioeconomic classes in every corner of the nation have successfully utilized principles to protect their heritage and revitalize their communities. That is what we desperately need your help in. So a handful of folks who are standing behind us in unity with asking you to help us in this, and they are in process of writing letters of support, are Justin Robinson, president of the Houston Area Urban League, and past Houston at-large council member, who wrote, historic preservation is now at the forefront of a national conversation where history, culture, and public spaces collided, forcing our nation to face our unfinished business of race, emancipation, and equality. Past president of the Houston Area Urban League, Sylvia K. Brooks, Claude Cummings, first vice president of the Houston branch of the NAACP, Michael Yarbrough, past Houston City Council member, as well as numerous other politicians, both on state and local levels, as well as Attica Locke, author of the novel Pleasantville, and contributing writer for indie movies like When They See Us with Ava DuVernay, Little Fires Everywhere, Empire, as well as Alex Stapleton, an Emmy Award-winning director and producer and documentarian of films like Hello Privilege, It's Me, Chelsea, Shut Up and Dribble, Carmen's World, The Case of JonBenet Ramsey, Pride, and many more. Currently, she is working on an HBO project called God Save Texas, where Pleasantville will be featured later this year. Okay, I'm done. I was trying to do it in my time limit, so help.
Okay, Councilmember Jackson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Fontenelle, for your commitment to the residents in Pleasantville. I know you've been working a long time to get Pleasantville recognized as a historical district, so whatever I can do to support, just let me know. I'm here for you. Again, thank you for all that you do.
Thank you. We are going through the application process expeditiously. We just started last week. We just got to get them to stop because they're ignoring our deed restrictions. And only you guys, the city, if we do this, you guys can help us with that. So you're desperately needed. Thank you, Councilmember Jackson. Thank you, Mayor Turner. I've met you before about other things with Pleasantville. Thank you, at-large Councilmember Letitia Plummer and at-large Councilmember Mike Knox and at-large Councilmember David Robinson. You've done a lot with Third Ward and preserving that historical significance with a booklet that you did. But we need y'all's help. Tasha, you are amazing. You're a breath of fresh air. We need all of you. We need all of you.
And Councilmember Plummer.
Thank you so much, Mayor Turner. And Ms. Fontenelle, thank you for coming forth. Anything that I can do in our office, we would love to support as well. And I appreciate what you're doing in preserving Pleasantville.
Councilmember Robinson.
Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Fontenot. You had me at architecture, and you certainly had me at my brother from another mother, Judson Robinson, council member at large. So I want to thank you and offer my assistance in any way I can ongoing for Pleasantville and for the importance of historic preservation. Please let us know what we can do, and we'll be right there with your district council member, the fabulous Tarsha Jackson.
Thank you, Ms. Fontenot. We look forward to working with you, okay, as we go forward. So thank you so very much.
Thank y'all so very much. Thank
Okay.
y'all so very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your passion too. Thank you. Okay. Okay. Next speaker,
Mark Rodriguez.
Mark Rodriguez. If you'll press *6, you can proceed. Mark.
Hello, Mayor.
Yes, Mark.
Yes, sir. I want to thank y'all again for giving us the opportunity to talk. This has to do with the lien that Department of Neighborhoods filed on one of my properties. Back in 2008, February 28, 2008, one of my properties caught fire. It's across the street from my house. And it wasn't a total loss in my opinion, but the fire department said it was a certain percent more was burned than it should have to rebuild it. So Department of Neighborhoods went there in the morning and they said, hey, we're going to demo your house. And I said, why? And they said, well, because it's a dangerous building. I said, I could put up a fence in a couple of hours. And then the lady said, no, we're going to have it demoed. So I said, I can get my guy to come demo it. And she said, that's fine. So I called one of my friends. He showed up an hour and a half later, ready to demo it. Then she goes, does he have a permit to demo it? And I said, well, no, you said it was an emergency demo. She goes, well, he needs to provide us a permit before we're going to let him tear it down. So my friend went to go start pulling the permit. Well, her guy showed up from the city, a contractor, and I asked her, well, does he have a permit? She says, no, he don't need one. He's a city contractor. So he tore down the house. Well, we never got billed, and Department of Neighborhoods was sending the bill to 103 Delmar, which is the house where they tore down. It's an empty lot with a mailbox. It don't even have a mailbox. So 14 years later, the mailman accidentally put one of those mails in my address, which is 23 Delmar, which is Harris County's, where I get my taxes sent, where Department of Neighborhoods mails me my tickets, when they mail me tickets, to my home address, which is 23 Delmar. That's the legal mailing address. And then it turns out the initial balance was $7,200, but we got a bill for $15,300 where they're charging us $8,000 of interest. And I said, I don't think it's fair that they charge me those $8,000 interest when we were never even notified of the bill. And I have the bill where it shows where they sent it to 103 Delmar, which don't have a house, which don't have a mailbox. Like I said, my mailman accidentally put it in my mail to let, because he saw our name on it. And I don't think it's right. Like I said, I tried to make an agreement with them, and I said, look, I'll pay the $7,200. I'll make 2 payments.
Your time has expired.
I'm sorry, Mark. So I think I got it. This started back in 2008. You're saying they sent the bill to the address where the house was torn down. Was there a mailbox at that address, Mark?
Right. It don't have a mailbox or a house. It's an empty lot.
Okay. And I don't know if they sent it certified or not. If there's not a mailbox, then where did they leave where was the address? I mean, where were they leaving the bill then if it wasn't a mailbox, Mark?
We never received it until 14 years later when the mailman accidentally put it in my home address, which is 23 Delmar, which is across the street.
Okay. Where did the mail go to that original address? Not just from Don, but all the other mail that would have been sent. Do you know where the mail went?
No, we don't have no idea because they don't have there wasn't a house there since they tore it down. There wasn't a house or a mailbox there. But Harris County, our tax records come to 23 Delmar. They usually mail everything to 23 Delmar, but we never received it. Like I said, the only notice that I have, it has the address of 103 Delmar, which don't have a house.
I got you.
I
got you. One last question. Did you change the address so that mail wouldn't go to 103 Delmar, but would go to the address where you are? Did you by any chance change the address? The mailing?
Well, Harris County sends our taxes there, so I mean, I wasn't ever receiving mail there because Harris County sends me my taxes to my home address, and Department of Neighborhood usually sends me tickets to my home address, which is 23 Delmar.
Okay. Well, the only
like I said, I'm trying to make it an arrangement where we could.
I got you.
I'm not trying to skate away from everything. I just don't think it's right that I charged all that interest.
I got you.
When I was never notified of the bill.
I got you. I think we can work something out on it. So,
thank you, Mayor, and I look forward for you having somebody call me. And thank you.
Let me build this resolution. Okay. So let me do that. Let me talk with number 2 as well, and we'll try to reach a resolution. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Thank you, Mayor.
Sure. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay. Next speaker.
Paul Renier.
Paul Renier. If you press *6. Paul Renier, R-I-N-I-E-R. Paul Renier. If you press *6. Paul Renier, *6. Okay, next speaker.
Zachary Ayers.
Zachary Ayers. If you'll press *6. Zachary Ayers, *6. Zachary.
Howdy, can you comprehend me?
Yep, howdy. Go for it.
Yes, yeah. In response to the George Floyd shooting and former President Donald J. Trump, the insurrection on the Capitol, I propose a plan of restoration titled Southern Catholic Cosmology Klan's Plan of Restoration for the City of Houston, Part 2. Over current understanding of service to the citizens of state by officers of the community of Houston counties is that the enforcement of the U.S. judicial system is a necessary ugly to maintain stability of government. May I propose that the Houston Police Department be disciplined to assure households of community that peace relies upon faith in Constitution, given that the state citizen be free to self-govern. By doing so, the peacekeepers of principle of the U.S. Constitution will be able to serve and protect more effectively without enforcement of nonsense laws. I yield the rest of my time.
Well, thank you, Zachary, and I'll accept the rest of your time. Okay. Okay. So thank you so much. Next speaker.
Trishelle West.
Trishelle West. If you press *6, you can proceed. Trishelle West, *6. Trishelle West, *6. Tricia, next speaker.
Gladys House L.
Gladys House. Gladys House L. If you press *6. Gladys. Gladys.
Okay. Yes. It's a little delay, Mayor, once you do *6. Anyway, I just wanted to add that San Felipe Park used to be in Freedmantown at Allen Parkway Village and Gillette Street. We need that Jamesboro Humphrey street sign back, Mayor. I know you're busy and you're still trying to resolve that matter we presented nearly 3 weeks ago, but I need to pick up that sign today and no later than tomorrow from you. Councilmember Kubash had left it on your desk, he said, and I know he's out of town. And the third reason I'm calling is the dredging ditches in Northeast Houston, and I want to thank District B, C, and H for really getting on that for me. and I'm looking forward to public hearing on the Department of Neighborhoods. I know there will be a meeting on the committee this month, and I'm really looking forward to that because there are a lot of concerns that should be addressed. But if you would take care of getting that signed to me, or I'll go to your office and get it, I would certainly appreciate it.
But Gladys, I am looking for it. They're looking for it as we speak.
What?
That's
because it's so tiny.
I think they gave it to me. It's in my office somewhere, Gladys.
They say it's on your desk.
And what does the sign say?
Okay, it has a picture of James Bo Humphrey. It's, the green sign. It's a small, little metal sign. And because our event is going to be next week. And we need to get our sign back, Mayor.
Well, let me look for it. Let me look for it. I'm looking for it today. Let me look for it.
Okay, then. All right, Carl, let me know now.
I will. Okay.
Okay, then. All right, thank you so much.
Okay, take care. All right, Madam Secretary.
This completes the list of speakers.
Okay, thank you so very much. And then we will we will resume, recess. We will recess until tomorrow morning at, Gladys, I got your sign. Okay, she's already signed? Okay, Gladys, I got, if you're out there in the universe, I got your sign. Oops, there it is, I was just playing with you, Gladys. In case somebody takes this sign, here's your sign, Gladys. Oh, that's not me. Oh, Gladys, I thought you put my picture on here. That's not my picture.
That's all print, Mayor.
Pretty than that, man.
Yeah, but I do have your sign, Gladys. See, I keep everything that you give me. I was just playing with you. I knew where it was all along. It was
That's
right.
the wonderful coach, Bo Humphrey.
All right, we stand in recess till tomorrow morning at 9 a.m.
Hey, finally getting into the 19